What is the difference and what is the similarity between these two athletes? Firstly, what are they both? Something I'm not. Who have we got? Debbie Flintoff-King, Christina Ogaruga.
Both Olympic champions.
Both Olympic champions. What is the difference between this one and this one if you look at their physique? Let's be honest, we're just in a room of being real here.
Flintoff's ripped
and she is not, let's be honest.
Yes.
Yep, I've had this competition a lot. Are they both the best in the world? Yes? So many times, and I was caught in this was one of my biggest weaknesses and one of the reasons I got into so many problems as an athlete, and it's probably what reflected in my career, and I really want to share with you today. Oops, wrong way. This is me winning the World Juniors, a little bit chunky, world champion in Paris. 1 year later, with a skin fold of 32, got down to 28 within 6 weeks of this performance. And what happened here that didn't happen here? I won here, I'm the best in the world. Here I'm injured, out, gone, Olympics over. And this happened so many times to me in my career where I fixated on weight too much. Don't get me wrong, there were times when I was too big and I had to lose it. We are athletes and it's our job. But it became such a predominant part of my career that I really paid for it. And I mentor young girls now, a lot of young girls now on eating issues, and it's rife within our sport. So we need as coaches to be extraordinarily careful how we talk to our young women about our weight. So I had to bring it up today because it was one of my factors why I didn't win the Olympic Games. Because mentally it caught me and it was too challenging to get over. So particularly our male coaches, I really think you need to be really careful with how we talk to them. Absolutely we need to lose weight. We can't be fat athletes. No, skin folds of 40 is minimum, but 32 is too low. And it's so hard because you get caught up in this, that you're only going to win the Olympics if you look like that. But she's an Olympic champion too. And I'm a world champion in the middle and I'm not that lean. I'm good, but I'm not ripped to the absolute max.
Can I ask a question? At any of those times were you happy or not happy with?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
So here I had no idea. I knew what food and how important it was. I ate very, very well. And I still had a few occasional moments where I ate like too much ice cream and be like, oh my God, I've had a real issue. But I was happy. I was in a really, really good place because my performance was extraordinary.
Yeah.
Like I won everything I put my mind to. Whereas at this point here, I looked like I should break the world record, but I was not able to train at the same level, and I was consumed with fear of being overweight and the performance not being linked. And it's really hard because a lot of athletes run their best at a certain weight and then think that's why they ran well. No, it's actually because they have a damn good coach and because they work hard at training. So I'm not saying you can be fat, but I'm saying if you could have a good balance, it makes a real difference.
Sorry, Jana, if you had an athlete that you cared about and she was really obviously to you overweight, how would you broach the topic with her?
I'd take her for walks with her.
And do what? Talk about what?
Walk it off.
Walk it off.
Yeah, that's my opinion. So because
what if she doesn't realise that she's overweight and she thinks she's cooking with gas, you know?
But is she cooking with gas? If she's not cooking with gas in her performance, then you talk about performance. So for me, if her performance isn't like my World Juniors, like I was like 70. Don't laugh here, but I was like 73 kilos there as a young girl, 18, huge chunky monkey. By here I'm already 69, and by here I'm 66. So 6 foot tall at 66 kilos is just crazy.
But do you let the athlete herself? Do you let the penny drop with her and let her make her own decisions, or do you at any stage say, "Listen, honey, you've got to slim down a bit"?
Like we did. So I'd let them know that weight is important. And obviously you can't, it's part of
power to body weight ratio.
Power to body weight is very important. But if their performance is going well and they're carrying a bit more weight, I think you're better off having a happy performing athlete than an injured athlete that feels like shit.
100%. That's
the truth. And I think sometimes we guess, particularly in Australia, Europe's very different. Europe, they don't focus on this anywhere as much, although their athletes maybe don't, they are not necessarily as clean as ours, but there are certain means to be able to, as you say, communicate with an athlete. And I think a lot of the time we are so fixated on performance coming from what you look like rather than performance coming from the times you're seeing on the track and what you're jumping. And look, it's just a little thing, and I just wanted to bring it up because it was, for me, as we're saying here, it was on my list, on my right hand column. It was something I could have done something about, but I wasn't aware of it till too late.